Republicans and Democrats, and to get such a warm response from them. Although what I really need is Republicans to go out and vote in the straw poll and in the caucuses that come up next January. So good to be here again, and happy to turn any questions you may have.
In your commercials, you say that you are a conservative. Define your definition of a conservative. What type of conservative are you?
Well, I believe the definition of a conservative is somebody who fights for positions of strength, a strong military, a strong economy by keeping our taxes down, and strong families with the kinds of family values that will build the American family. You know, you can look at each of us and look how we stack up issue by issue. I think the best way to assess who I am and what I believe is by looking at my record. I've been a governor for 4 years. You can see my position on virtually every issue by looking at how I acted as governor and how I faced the various measures that came to my desk. I didn't get 100% of what I wanted in a state that has a legislature that's heavily Democratic, but I fought for conservative principles and believe that that kind of record is exactly what the nation is looking for.
Can you address the general question of whether your changes in positions on issues, suggestion by critics that you have no core convictions?
Well, as I just indicated, look at my record as governor. There's one place of significance where I changed my position, which was with regards to abortion. I've described that in some depth as to why that was. That happened a couple of years ago as it related to the debate going on in our state about cloning and embryo farming. And I'm happy to have people take a look at my record as governor. My record as governor and the positions I took as governor are clear and straightforward, and those are positions I'm proud of today. As a governor, for instance, every step I took with regards to abortion was on the side of life. I opposed same-sex marriage and civil union. I opposed embryo farming and cloning of embryos, and so those positions I think can be seen pretty clearly through my 4-year term as governor.
You said if healthcare isn't broken in states where it's not broken, the private sector's working, you don't need to do anything. There are some
No, I wouldn't characterize that with regards to the.
Well, if they have insurance, you said if it's not broken, we don't need to fix it. But there are people that are insured that find it too expensive, or businesses that do provide it but find it very cost prohibitive.
And that's one of the reasons to get everybody in the system. I really do think that there are needs probably in almost every state to improve our healthcare system, and nationally to improve our healthcare system. And one of the ways that we can improve our system is getting everybody inside the system. Because if you have 45 million people that don't have insurance, then the cost of providing care for those people when they get sick is borne by the people who do have insurance. So one thing we can surely do is to get everybody insured, and that would improve our system. I'd also note that some states may decide that the idea of the AMA is a good one for them. Others may say no, employers are providing insurance, keep that in place. I'm not going to impose a single answer on that front. Certainly not until at least we've learned what's working in different states and what policies and procedures have been the most effective. The idea that every time there's a challenge in America, the federal government should step in and put in place a one-size-fits-all program is, in my view, an idea that should not be pursued. That with regards to health care, let the 50 states experiment in their own ways, have the federal government support that through flexible financing programs and encouragement of various ideas. That's what's happening right now with the administration that Secretary Leavitt has put forward. He's encouraging states to look at different plans. A number of states, over 20, are putting in place various healthcare reform systems. I think that's going to lead to an improvement in our overall healthcare system.
There are those who compare what you would refer to as ObamaCare and the Massachusetts plan and see great similarities. What are the differences that you see?
Well, pretty big differences. We have as an objective getting people insured and having primary care, but how you get there is very different. In his plan, it requires new tax revenues. My plan did not. In his plan, there's a government insurance plan, a government insurance product that's offered. In my plan, there was not a government plan. Instead, it was insurance programs were offered by the private sector. In his plan, he has an employer mandate. Employers are required to provide insurance. It's pay or play. In my plan, there was no employer mandate. Instead, there was an individual responsibility principle where individuals were responsible to get insurance, not employers. So it's about as different can be. But the objective, getting people insured, is something which I think Republicans and Democrats can agree on. The issue is, are we going to have government run health care and the insurance world, or are we instead going to have the private market be the source upon which we rely for better care?
Governor, when you made the joke about Leona Helmsley when you were talking about putting homeless people in hotels, did you mean to imply that Massachusetts was putting people in luxury hotels?
No, it's a joke I've used for about the last 4 years. It's the hotel business is happy when we were putting people in hotels.
And then if people were not getting to hotels by the end of your term, does that mean it was just becoming too difficult for them to get to hotels, or because the shelters could accommodate them?
I think I described the reason why people stopped using hotels, and that was because we changed our policy and we're able to help people get permanent housing and get child care that enabled them to be able to get jobs and get into the workforce.
Good, thank you, Governor. Thank you.